Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Nice head retention.
It's actually a really nice colour. It's really some golden.
Yep. It's unfiltered, so
That's what gives it the good aroma.
not going to get perfect clarity.
It's got that nice full body sweet aftertaste as well. So I think we're going to slow down because Rupert's already drinking.
I'm not going to slow
lots.
down.
Well, I was going to say, he's going to finish
It's far too drinkable.
We need another one.
The first flavour I get immediately mingles with the aroma.
Yeah.
And I get that sort of punchy, fruity hop coming through. To me personally, it's like a mango-y,
That's what I was
passion fruity sort of vibe. What do you get, Rupert?
I get kind of like citrus peel, like if you're peeling an orange and then you get the skin and you kind of press it and then you see the little droplets of oil and then you're like, whoa, it's like quite an intense kind of citrus
I get kind
aroma,
of
which I like.
a mixture, I think, between the two, like almost like a pineapple, but not pineapple on its own, more like when it's in a juice.
Interesting.
I could drink it like juice.
Yeah.
It does go down like juice, to be fair.
Yeah.
I guess because when we were doing the recipe development and what our kind of like goal for the recipe was, I imagine like a Californian skater, but has moved to the east coast of the US, so a bit rainy like here, and they're trying to fit in. So they're hip and cool, but they're not too in your face.
So like a sunshine kind of beer, but
Yeah,
maybe without the sunshine.
there you go. What do you think?
Well, the only thing I can imagine when I'm tasting and looking at First Drop is a vivid image of a small batch brewer like Rupert, frantically running around the brewery with steam going everywhere, a big smile plastered on his face, big bags of hops just being chucked into huge steaming vessels. And,
So very hipster.
very
kinda craft
hipster
brewery.
vibes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The first time I've seen Rupert working hard.
That's an outrage, but I'll let it slide.
Physically working hard. You're really good at
And so
it.
I mean, coming from a craft background, as yourself as well, I just really reminisce the small batch brewing, the craft brewing.
I do miss that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The smells.
There's a
the
certain
steam,
art
the
that
heat.
you just don't get. And I'm sure you've noticed that now that you've been doing
Yeah, it's great. It's been great fun.
Can't get enough of it now.
So what do you think about the beer?
I like the beer. I think in terms of the personality side of it, I actually thought a little bit similar. I think it's kind of like your friend the friend that you meet at the pub, who's like, for whatever reason, is super relaxed all the time, and kind of you can kind of offload your problems and then improve your mood to kind of match.
Yeah.
It is quite an easygoing drink, so I assume the personality is
Yeah, easygoing, relaxed. There's no real problems. Every problem could be solved, especially maybe in the pub with a couple of pints. I mean.
But then there's that juicy twist. So
Exactly,
They always
yeah,
throw a
yeah.
curveball in.
Oh yeah. It's got some spice. So the first drop I ever brewed at
Would be
Shepherd Neame.
Here, well, unless you want to talk about homebrew, but
We'll get to that. One step at a time. The first drop, actually, we used to brew a beer called Fuggles, and we hadn't brewed it for a long time, and we actually didn't have a recipe for it anymore. And the head brewer at the time said, Rupert, again, I'd want you to just come up with a recipe for Fuggles. And it was my first attempt at making a recipe, and I didn't really know what I was doing.
and was this on the big
Yeah, this was
big
on
pit?
this is
Wow.
the main brew house, yeah. And I thought, well, it's called Fuggles. We're going to put a lot of Fuggles in, and I just kept it pretty simple, to be honest. But it was, Fuggles are a very, they have a kind of very earthy aroma. You don't normally like. If you go to a random person and say what do Fuggles hops taste or smell like, it's normally quite hard to describe. But I just thought, well, we're just going to put
a random person, because a random person knows what Fuggles is.
okay, even a brewer then. I mean, Fuggles are hard to describe, right?
Yeah, they are.
And
yeah.
and actually, it was a really delicious beer, and I really enjoyed it, and we got some good feedback. And it was I basically did a smash type beer, so it was just pale malt, loads of Fuggles, dry Fuggles.
Nice.
I was really pleased with it. And my favourite beer that I brewed as a home brewer, I brewed a beer that my mum called Shady Lady. And it was a smoked porter, so it was.
You talk about this a lot.
Yeah, it's a great recipe. I mean, I want to brew it on the main kit someday.
He literally talks about this all the time.
Yeah. I'm waiting to receive the recipe so we can put it.
I've told you it.
So, it's funny you say that. So my first beer at my very first brewery, I did a gap year or an industry year whilst I was at university, set up in Coventry. Was
I forgot it.
a smash beer for starters, likewise.
Yeah.
And also incredibly similar flavour profile wise to First Drop. It was a Mosaic smash beer, pale ale.
I do like Mosaic has really good flavor.
Yeah. It took me 12 hours to brew it the first time because everything went wrong. And yeah, it turned out it was a cracking beer. My favourite beer that I brewed, the most enjoyable brew, was at my previous brewery to here. And funny enough, it was also a smoked beer, which is a bit strange. It was more sort of a British take on a Rausch beer. And we used smoked malts. The whole brewery smelled like Frazzles. It was very nice.
It's got that bacon vibe.
You guys
To
have
this day, one of my
too much
favourite
in
ones.
common.
It was a bit weird, actually,
Way
wasn't
too
it?
much in
Yeah,
common.
that was a bit strange.
Yeah.
What about you, Danny?
So my first beer was actually at uni. So when I was doing my master's degree in brewing, I was part of natural selection brewing, which is like they pick 4 students, and instead of just doing a research project, your research project is create a beer start to finish, and so that also includes marketing and selling it and doing all of that. So we chose to do a Berliner Weiss, and we did. Do you know what sour pitch is? It's like a little bag, and you put it in the mash. It's like a sour mash is what you do.
You could do
Either or the kettle.
Yeah.
But we did like I think 6 or 7 iterations of it, and we chose to do like a black currant and a raspberry. And we don't have black currants in the US, so that was already kind of cool for me. But it turned out, I mean, this like hue, this like pink, like this deep pink. And it was really funny because the amount of men I'd try to sell it to, and I'm not drinking pink beer. It's like, it was really good beer. And it was nice because we also did different renditions. We had like an orange one, and we did like a basil, or British basil, and strawberry, and like different things. So that was my first one. My favorite one would be another brewery that I worked at. It was for International Women's Day, and we called it Trailblazer, I think, but it was just like a NEPA. But it was really cool because I got all the different women in the company a part of it. And they all kind of got to make the recipe with us. It's
Very cool. Yeah.
Sounds
I
fun.
like it. You can tell you're an American brewer, can't you?
I am an American
Making a
brewer.
pink beer is your first beer, and then the NEPA is your favourite beer. So, good. What's quite interesting about this, guys, is we've all come from very different backgrounds with very different first drops. And I think together we've managed to put our heads and make this beer as a shared experience.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually the brief, was to create a more kind of American-styled British beer. And I think we've really kind of hit the nail on the head there.
We've nailed it. Yeah.
I mean, I get
To be
a
fair,
lot of happy customers telling me how much they like it, so that's all I care about.
well,
basically.
to be fair, it's called First Drop because it was the first one out of the small batch brewery.
Yeah,
So we've set the bar really high for ourselves,
Yeah, that was a mistake.
which might have been a mistake.
yeah.
It's only down from here. Okay. Cut that one out.
What would you pair this with?
I would definitely pair it with fish and chips.
Yeah.
I think it goes really,
Yeah,
really
yeah.
well. I think the fruitiness,
Yeah.
people normally squeeze kind of lemon and stuff on their chips. So if you're in a pub, you're by the sea,
Oh, you got the citrus in it.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's a nice sunny day, pub by the sea, fish and chips, pint of First Drop. I think that would actually tie together really well.
Yeah, good
So
shout.
I'm gonna go with the super American trope, since that's kind of what I've been bringing to this. And I imagine what you guys would call a barbecue, but a cookout,
All right.
and some nice steak, like in the summertime. I think would be very good.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, I'm gonna steal that and spin off that.
Oh,
then.
okay.
I'm gonna say any sort of British summertime vibe. I've got visions of sitting in my garden with a sort of a big salad and a nice plate of pesto pasta and some chicken on the barbecue and stuff. I think that's gonna go well with First Drop.
I want to come to your cookout.
Yeah.
I have one more suggestion. Mussels in garlic sauce.
I've not had lunch yet, so yeah, you're making me a bit hungry.
Mussels and garlic sauce sounds bougie.
Yeah. That's my
Okay,
high
I
end
can
suggestion.
see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You need First Drop
To be
wash your
fair, I
breath
think
out.
like any kind of main course, I would be drinking this.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of obviously a citrus type flavour, which is quite dominant. So I mean, I imagine there might be some things that it doesn't go with, but I think with as long as it's something that's complemented by citrus, it will work.
I was gonna say everything you've chosen is specifically something I'd imagine putting lemon on.
Yeah. I also think it'd be good. I mean, I know we tried this in various places, but you know, I think it would actually be a good basis for a beer cocktail as well, because you know
Yeah.
you could add stuff to it and kind of complement those
To
flavours.
be fair, one of the other places I worked, it was a beer similar to this, maybe a bit more hoppy. They did do like a beer cocktail, and it was like orange juice and like the beer, and it was really
See
good.
that working.
We could do that.
I mean, mustn't forget the best pairing with a First Drop is another First Drop. Point to camera. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, I think I beat you actually. Now we're about the same.
Yeah.
One
Keep
day.
up, mate.